Werewolves are back! I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
About 1 hour after I finished uploading the guide yesterday's video about the guide for Dark Arts Weekend, Portkey Games changed something, which was really frustrating because you finished the guide, you have all the information out there. So let's head over to the registry and let's talk about what changed. So, in my guide, everything else is correct besides this. We had talked about in Forest Chamber 4 and higher that Tom Riddle Sr.'s gravestone and the Might is Magic. Magic is Might. Magic is Might. Why do I always get that wrong? Magic is Might statue, that those two would be guaranteed drops, which would have been great because it, encompassed this page. It was perfect. Because previously we've had Nocturne Alley be like a page that they did an event around and that kind of thing. So it was perfect. Well, they changed it. Instead of those two being the guaranteed drop, it's actually going to be that Nocturne Alley sign right over here. So Nocturne Alley sign, that's going to be the guaranteed drop. Now, I guess I always try to look at the silver lining. Like, I don't immediately, of course, I was like, oh my gosh, I needed it to be those two so I could do this. The bonus for me, I guess, is I'm on gold on this page. So if it is a guaranteed drop, I already have 13 fragments. If I go ahead and get those other 12 fragments, do 12 Forest 4 or higher, I will get up to 25 fragments, so I don't have to worry about RNG. I'm going to get them, and that'll give me 1,200 experience or 1,200 family experience when I place it out of the 2,000 I need. So it'll help me with that task and make it a lot easier. But what I'm going to end up doing anyway now, because those other three are going to be in the wild more often, but now those two aren't guaranteed fragments from Forest 4 or higher. In fact, if you go to Forest 4 or higher and use a Dark Arts Runestone, you're only going to get Nocturne Alley signs. That's the only way it can be 100% drop. So I'm going to run fortresses prior to the event. I'll be running a bunch today. And I'll be looking to try to fill up these fragments, but not place the images. Again, I want to wait to get the family experience for them. Because I think you get, 250 and 200, I think it is. Yep, or 250. 250 and 250? Nice. Yeah, I get 250 for each of them for placing them. So if I get built up on those, I'll get that 500. Now, the thing is, right now, there's no guaranteed drop. So I may not get any fragments, but I also might get Nocturne Alley, so I may end up building that one up a bit. It's possible I'll fill that before I even fill these two. RNG, you never can tell. So anyway, that's one big correction for the guide, is the guaranteed drop will be the Nocturne Alley sign, not the Magic is Might and the Tom Riddle Sr.'s gravestone. So if you're wanting to place those images like I am, we're going to have to go ahead and just run fortresses lower than Forest 4. That works fine too. Like, I could just run Tower 1 over and over, and I'll have a shot at any of them, I imagine. Or do it before the event, which is another thing I'll be doing, because trying to get this page to gold. Moving on, second bit of news, werewolves are back, so we'll have werewolves for the next couple nights, few nights really, so just be on the lookout for them if you need them. It's something, let me go to the registry. They're right here on Oddities 1, you can see I'm 10 out of 15. It's the bow I need on this, so I need to run fortresses. Hopefully I can build up to 15 and at least have those images ready to carry over to the next page. In other news, something else they added, you may have never been to this part of the game itself. If you go to your suitcase, upper left corner, go to the gears, and under when you get to settings, down at the bottom, you're in the general tab always. Go over to help and legal, and under help and legal, you go to support and do get support, and under support, if you look, it just has all these different things here. Get in touch, what's new, getting started. So if you do getting started, and they really make you go through a lot of menus for this, this actually gives you a lot of information about what things are. Weather conditions, taking AR photos, making friends, wizarding portrait, how that works, traces, foundables, confoundables. Well, if you go all the way down, they have added what is SOS training and SOS training using field charms. So when you click on like the field charms one, it actually does go through kind of how this works, how you do it, casting it, what's going to happen with the field charms. So anyway, This is just a section. So if you ever do have a question and you don't want to wait for answers on Discord or Reddit or Facebook or wherever you're putting them, you can always look here. It does have very general information. So if you have really specific questions, a lot of times these do not answer them, but it is there, and it's under the Get Support, and that's under Help and Legal. So continuing on with more news, and this news came out a couple days ago, but I wanted to get that Wizarding Weekend guide up first. But they also finally put out the calendar for the rest of the month, and it's going to be a busy one to be sure. So of course, October 2nd through October 5th, which is this coming weekend, we've got the Wizarding Weekend. Put the guide out yesterday with the correction I just made today. Moving on, right after the October Wizarding Weekend ends, it ends on Monday the 5th, and then on Tuesday the 6th begins part 1 of the first Brilliant event they're going to have this month. It's going to be called Darkness Rising, and it revolves around returning foundables from Nocturne Alley, which we just saw that page earlier with the Nocturne Alley sign and that kind of thing. But it does have brilliant things, of course, too. It has brilliant poachers and brilliant snatchers. We don't know much more about the event than that, but if you imagine Darkness Rising, it's going to have to do with dark arts. So after this Wizarding Weekend, if you've finished a lot of things, and this is not a guarantee, I don't know what the tasks are yet, but if it has to do with Nocturne Alley, then it would make sense that dark arts is going to be the family. So I would almost say maybe start to hold on to some of those images and don't place them just in case there's a family XP requirement. So as the Wizarding Weekend progresses, if you finish your family experience, the 2,000 you need, then go ahead and maybe, unless you need to place images or to Prestige page, in which case you probably do want to move it along. If you don't have any other specific good reason to place an image, go ahead and save it, and let's just see what the tasks are. They should come out pretty soon. I'm hoping to have those tasks with this weekend and be able to put a guide out on either Saturday or Sunday. I can't imagine we wouldn't have information by then. So if you want to just hold and wait till then, look at that and then see, do we need to hold on to images, or are they just going to ask us for brilliant experience, or it's just going to be returning certain numbers of foundables from the event. But anyway, that's part 1 of the event. Darkness Rising, brilliant poachers, brilliant snatchers, and don't know much more about it. And that'll, of course, run from Tuesday to Tuesday. So it'll run from the 6th through the 13th, and then 11 a.m. to 11 a.m., like most brilliant events always are. When that event ends on the 13th, we'll have about a four-day break, because we'll kind of get to that next weekend. And that next weekend is going to be a busy one, because on Saturday, they're going to give us the Makeup September Community Day that we never had, because of some situations, I think, with the update, the 2.15 update. Maybe 0.1, or that's the one they just pushed on us. Either way, the update just made it so they had to push it back. We got that Dragon Week. So now we have September Community Day on the 17th, and then on the 18th, the Sunday, we have the October Community Day. The only thing we really know about the September Community Day is that it does revolve around the Ministry Atrium, and it talks about returning Ministry officials and flocks of interdepartmental memos, and then it says, and much more. So again, it should be, again, revolving around the Ministry of Magic. Closer to the time, we'll get the tasks and things like that. But again, this should just trigger in your brain, okay, Ministry of Magic, Ministry Atrium, there may be a family experience requirement for that. So as you're getting through this month, as we're getting closer to the mid-October, if you have things on the Ministry of Magic page or pages in that registry, maybe hold on to those images if you don't need to place them for any other particular reason, or it's something, yeah, if I place it next week, it's just as good, well then just save it anyway. Save those Ministry of Magic, because worst case scenario, you don't need it, and then you can just place them whenever you want. But it would be a pain to place them and then realize you could have used that family experience to make that community day go quicker. Although community days, because it's only one day, generally they tend to not have as big a requirement, so hopefully it's not an issue. Anyway, moving on to Sunday, which is the October Community Day. October Community Day says get ready for pranks and that type of thing with Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes, which means it's going to be Wonders of the Wizarding World. So same strategy that we just talked about the September Makeup Community Day. Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes, so it's probably going to be that page or of the registry, but even that family, again, maybe save those images if you can. just in case there is a family XP, it will make it go quicker. And to finish out the month, from October 20th through the 27th, Tuesday to Tuesday, 11 a.m. to 11 a.m., it's going to be part 2 of the Brilliant event, and it's going to be revolving around Borgin and Burks. So we're back to Dark Arts still, so maybe in between the 2 Brilliant events, save up more Dark Arts if you can, because there might be a family experience requirement for those tasks as well. In the little blurb it talks about returning brilliant foundables from Borgin and Burks, including dark witches and wizards. So we should get some witches, which would be cool. And then one other interesting part about a month is that the full moon is actually October 31st, which, how cool is that? Halloween full moon. Not that Halloween will be the same this year, I think, as previous years. So October 1st was full moon, and then October 31st is going to be full moon. So you'll be able to get werewolves on Halloween, which, how cool is that? We're definitely going to have to do an episode about that. So just a quick news roundup for today's episode. I am going to go ahead and start running some of those fortresses. So for tomorrow's episode, when we start the Wizarding Weekend, you'll be able to see how far along did I make it, was I able to get those fragments. And I am going to probably hit it pretty hard and maybe try to get to an area with some energy. And if not, I'll just use up all my energy that I do have to try to get a lot of those fragments, and then I'll just regain the energy tomorrow when I can maybe get to an area with a bunch of inns. As always, thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you for the event tomorrow. Nox.